I honestly have no idea where my family would be without my youngest brother, Joey. He has shaped our lives so profoundly, and he has truly helped make us who we are today. His infectious smile lights up a room and can make anyone's bad day instantly better. Not many people have that effect on others. However, that isn't the only thing that makes him more special than most people. Joey has Down syndrome, a genetic chromosomal disorder that causes developmental and intellectual delays. Now, that's the brief medical definition of it, but it doesn't even come close to describing what it is. It doesn't tell you about all the day-to-day challenges or the expenses that are involved. It also doesn't tell you about the hours spent watching reruns of Drake and Josh and cracking up like it's the first time you've seen them, or about the pride you feel watching him shoot a basketball from the three-point line and making it in. To me, Down syndrome is laughter, compassion, and honesty. However, that's not how a large portion of society sees it. The bias toward people with Down syndrome in particular is a problem because it goes by largely unnoticed. It's due to the fact that it's often hidden behind patronization. Even though people believe that kind of attitude fosters tolerance and acceptance, it actually does the complete opposite and is detrimental for the Down syndrome community. Believing that all individuals with Down syndrome have the same personality and equating them with children can demolish any chance they have to be accepted socially, in the workforce, and/or academically. Just like typical people, people with disabilities have unique personalities. They like and dislike different things, and they experience a range of emotions. Contrary to popular stereotype, people with Down syndrome are not happy all the time. While Joey does experience happiness, he also feels sadness, remorse, fear, and hope, among other emotions. He is just as diverse as any other person. Prejudices against individuals with disabilities have existed for centuries, and unfortunately can still be seen today. Society perpetuates harmful stereotypes, especially about people with intellectual disabilities. There is a long, often shameful history as to how people with Down syndrome specifically have been treated in the past, and they still have a stigmatized status and face discrimination. Since its first medical description by John Langdon Down in 1866, people with Down syndrome were set up to be seen as outsiders. Down coined the term Mongolism, a term no longer socially accepted, due to the facial similarities individuals with Down syndrome appeared to share with the nomadic groups of Mongolia. At that time, a large number of people viewed Down syndrome as a step backwards in humanity's intellectual progress, a stigma that still influences people's thoughts and actions to this day. Individuals with disabilities are often either placed on the same level as children or discredited as contributing members of society.
One time I was at a baseball game and some moms were sitting talking about pregnancy, and one of the moms had said, "Hey, Lisa, did you know before Joy was born, when you were pregnant, did you know he had Down syndrome?" And I said, "No, we had no idea. It was a surprise when he came out." And she says, "Oh, well, with my two kids, I got amnios done with both of them." And I said, "Oh, you did? Well, why would you want to do something like that?" And she said, "Well, because if one of mine would have had Down syndrome, I definitely would have had an abortion." And I think all of us were like, "Wait, what? Did she just actually say that?" And I kind of looked at her and said, "Well, why would you say something like that?" And she says, "Well, I mean, really, when you think about it, they're never going to make anything of themselves." So I had to remove myself from the conversation because it didn't want to do anything or say anything I would regret, because I knew this woman. But I got up and I walked away, and I think some of the other moms had some nice choice words for her at that time. And I came back, she knew I was upset, and she says, "Well, I didn't mean it like that," which I don't know, any other way you could mean something like that. But, still just makes you think like, wow, thank God she didn't have a child with Down syndrome, because I don't know how that child would be.
People with disabilities can still contribute to society. Like a typical person, a person with special needs has different strengths and weaknesses. Joey is incredibly active and loves to help out around the house in any way he can.
I'd say the thing that I would probably love the most about Joe is that he's always looking to help with things, no matter what it is. Um, a lot of things is if it has a motor attached, he loves to do it. It's a lawnmower, he'll mow the lawn. A vacuum, he'll vacuum. He'll help clean up. He'll help with whatever you need him to do. Even does his own laundry, which is good. Sometimes he takes it a little bit too far. He starts to fold things that he's not supposed to. But, that's just Joe.
He's a huge helper around the house. He loves to shovel. He loves to rake leaves. He loves to laundry. Anything that's physical, he loves to help out and do. And he feels very proud when he does do something. So kind of a fun thing I love about him. He's a big helper.
He is also a very kind-hearted and curious individual. He enjoys making people laugh, and his favorite question to ask is why.
If someone is on crutches or has a bloody nose or has a cast on, he's always concerned. And his first question is actually, are they okay? Okay, because he wants to make sure that they're okay. And I think that is just absolutely amazing about Joey and what I truly love about him.
However, Joey does have his own personal struggles.
There's nothing I would want to change about Joey, because I love him just the way he is. But if I can make anything for him different to make his life easier, I would have it where he'd be able to communicate easier, because for him, communication is the hardest thing, and I can see that's where a lot of his frustration comes in. So if I could give him the ability to be able to speak, it would be great.
To help combat this struggle, Joey uses a communication app on his iPad called Proloquo to Go.
My name is Joey. My last name is Chudzik.
How old are you?
I am 17 years old.
Yeah.
I am a junior. I go to Lincoln Way East High School. My birthday is December 18th, 1999.
He also communicates through sign language.
Can you show me some of your favorite signs? Ambulance. Fireman. Cop. Hurt. Nice job.
Of course, these strengths and weaknesses are not true for every person with Down syndrome or with a disability. Some people with disabilities are capable of holding a job without help and living independently. Others could not have a job without aid and need almost constant supervision from a parent or guardian for differing reasons. Joey, in particular, could never live completely on his own because of his difficulties with communication, as well as various medical needs.
From the day he was born, he had a lot of issues, and some weren't even very common in Down syndrome, like his thumb hypoplasia, which means it's very underdeveloped, and we've had to be his advocates for 17 years now. Mm-hmm. And how big is that binder we have for medical about?
Oh, big binder for him.
We've got a medical binder probably. That's one.
Right.
We have more.
Because he had open heart surgery when he was 6 months old. Mm-hmm. For a hole that he had in his heart. He's had, tubes in his ears.
Mm-hmm.
He's
acid reflux.
Acid reflux.
He's got thyroid
problems. He's got,
it's
now he's
list.
diagnosed with scoliosis.
Mm-hmm.
And also he has...
he had keratoconus.
Keratoconus of his...
was a cornea problem. It started to bulge and become very hard to see. Mm-hmm. So only there's one doctor in the U.S. that does a procedure the way he does it, and since your eyes are very important, so we took him to see the best because he deserves it.
They put him under because
yes.
he would never be able to sit through a surgery that you had to be up for, which I don't think I'd be able to do either.
Joey needs help taking his medications. However, he still has a right to live outside of his parents' home. Unfortunately, some assisted living options are unsafe and exploit those living there, and building an independent group home is incredibly expensive.
I would hope that they can get more group housing for kids as they grow into young adults, where they can live together, away from having to depend on their families all the time, 100%. Because some of them are state-run and they're not as good as some of the private ones. It'd be great if somebody like Bill Gates would throw a bunch of money into something like that. But hey, you never know.
There has been some progress for people with disabilities, such as the ability to work for pay and attend school, but there are still significant strides to make. While there are a number of interventions and policy efforts in place to help advance employment rates for people with disabilities, their effectiveness is unclear due to a lack of proper data collection and research. Ensuring proper employment participation for those with disabilities is one great way to eradicate outdated stigmas and stereotypes, which will ultimately promote awareness and acceptance of people with disabilities.
Something that I would want everyone to know about the special needs community is that our guys, no matter what disability they have, should be able to work in the community just like anybody else does. Give them a chance to see, if they can do it or not. Typical people sometimes can, and they can't, and same with Down syndrome or autism or whatever. Sometimes you can do the job, sometimes you can't, but they've got to be given that shot. They've got to be given that opportunity to even try it. Just don't look at them and think, oh, no, can't do it. Joey, don't talk. He's not going to be able. No, he can. Let him try. It's going to take him a little longer, but in the end, give them all a shot.
My hope, my ultimate hope for the special needs community is that there are more opportunities for them, and more opportunities in more of a career sense and more of a job sense. My ultimate dream and goal is to create a business for adults with special needs and for them to be able to earn a paycheck just like us and to be able to work hard and learn those skills that will make them contributing awesome members of this society, where they're not seen as people who are just going to sit home and do nothing because they can't. I want to make sure that there's always that can in there and that they will do everything that we can do who don't have those special needs, because that shouldn't be holding them back. So my hope is just truly that they can learn those skills, that right now I can prepare them for that, and hopefully in the future be able to be their boss and be able to pay them because I know that they can do it.
Change is possible if a group of people advocates extensively. At the 1965 World Health Assembly, the delegation for the Mongolian People's Republic made the request to cease using the terms Mongol and Mongolism when referring to a person with Down syndrome. While these terms did disappear from some publications, they were still being used in scientific literature up until 1970. Thanks in large part to continual pressure from parent groups, the terms were finally discontinued. Refusing to accept outdated and offensive terminology and treatment is a great platform to explain why certain things are so harmful and to provide alternatives and ideas for change.
It upsets me that people still use the R word in today's day and age, because the special needs community is becoming more and more accepted, and it's not an acceptable word to use.
It'd be great if I had a crystal ball and you look 20 years from now that people would stop using the R word. It is just a very hurtful word to any person with a disability, and that would be great if people would just think before they speak.
It is imperative that we as a society begin to educate ourselves and each other by promoting awareness and acceptance of those with disabilities. Knowing that they have differing capabilities, thoughts and feelings, and personalities, much like a typical person, is essential if we ever want to see a more tolerant and inclusive world.
All right, Joe.
At number 13.
Say goodbye.
The
The shortage, the price is low.